Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the ranking member for holding this hearing. And look, listening to the testimony, there are some real pragmatic ideas here on how to reduce food waste and improve farming practices. And I'm sure there's a lot of space for bipartisan legislation there. But like many of these hearings, what we also hear is these good ideas crowded out by more radical ideas that end up hurting Americans, especially on their most basic needs, energy and food. And it is worth pointing out some of the other countries very recently that have taken these radical approaches. Sri Lanka banned pesticides, herbicides, and other chemicals that provide crop protection. That was because of their environmentalist lobby. They're currently in a devastating humanitarian crisis because they have not been able to produce enough food to eat. Don't worry, because Sri Lanka has a near perfect ESG score of 98. I'm sure that makes them feel good. Environmental groups sued the Netherlands into enforcing a limitation on carbon emissions in their country. Now, the Netherlands is bound by their Supreme Court into enforcing this, and it started enforcing bans on agricultural emissions. To meet that goal, the Prime Minister said the only way they can do it is to cut cattle by 30%. So you can imagine what's going on in their country right now as there is an uprising and a potential food shortage. In the United States, the EPA said that the Supreme Court won't stop them from pursuing hardline emission targets for industry, which suggests that the EPA is going to try to use a little-known authority called Section 115 of the Clean Air Act to enforce the emissions targets set out in the Paris Climate Agreement and potentially put us on the same track as the Netherlands and Sri Lanka. When it comes to crop protection and the EPA, the crops going unharvested lead to an increase of both carbon and methane emissions, and they often go unharvested because of damage caused by pests and disease. The EPA is restricting crop protection products, restricting natural gas production for fertilizer, constraining the production of chlorine through restrictions on both of the ways we produce chlorine, and restricting the use of several other commonly used herbicides and pesticides. But Ms. Gunders, this question is for you. Without immediately available, affordable crop protection products, do you anticipate that farmers increase the number of unharvested products?
I apologize that I'm not super familiar with various crop protection laws or regulations, but I do.
You don't need to be. I mean, just to be clear, but it's a basic question. If you don't have the materials necessary to fend off pests, then do you think you're going to have more unharvested products in the fields, which is a concern of yours, of course?
I do believe that crop protection plays a role in protecting crops, and therefore, yes, certainly saving crops from pests can help lead to more harvest.
And you've indicated that crop waste leads to higher carbon emissions. You make a good argument for that. So these products would be good and helpful in reducing carbon emissions overall. Would you agree with that? I'm not trying to trick you here. I promise you. I know that's what it feels like.
I do believe that a certain level of crop protection can help lead to full utilization of crops that are grown.
Thank you. And on the subject of food prices, these actions that I've been talking about are increasing costs for Americans. And I want us to continue what we know how to do. And we know how to do this actually pretty well in this country. Pursue environmental goals and promote human flourishing at the same time. We can protect people while also producing enough food and energy for Americans. I truly believe that, and I yield back. Thank you.